A growing number of lawmakers are urging President Biden to restrict travel from China after an alarming breakout of an unknown respiratory illness hits the communist country. Florida Congressman Carlos Gimenez agrees, and he serves on the Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the U.S. and China's Communist Party, and he joins us now. Congressman, always so great to have you on. I couldn't agree more. Obviously, the China and the WHO, who backs them up, have not been trustworthy when it comes to these kinds of issues. But you wrote this letter. Do you think anything's going to happen from it?
Probably not. I mean, the Biden administration tends to do things not in a logical manner. Look, my mom once taught me, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. It was about this time, about 4 years ago, that we heard of this illness that was attacking the respiratory system of the elderly. And now we're hearing about an illness that attacks the respiratory system of our children. And so, yeah, I think that there should be a travel ban with China. If we disrupt somebody's travel plans, I don't think that's too high a price to pay to assure our children's safety. And so I hope that the Biden administration would do that. Do I think he's going to do that? No, I don't think he will do that.
Yeah, well, then if something happens, it'll be on them. At least you guys have the letter out there. I think that's a good thing to do. You've been raising the alarm, Congressman, on the number of Chinese nationals that have been coming into our country. I believe there's an 800% increase coming through the southern border. You've seen Chinese nationals come from Cuba to your state. What's happening? Why are they here? Are they getting directives from China? What's happening? Why are they doing this?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm sure that some of them are just fleeing their oppressive government in China, but also I believe that inside there, I'm sure there's going to be some folks with nefarious intentions towards the United States of America. Look, those are the Chinese nationals that we know are crossing. Those
right.
have been encountered, right? We have 2 million people. We haven't the faintest idea who they are, where they came from, where they are in this country, or what they're doing in this country. That's a huge national security threat. And again, it all falls on President Biden, Secretary Mayorkas, for failing to protect the American homeland. And then for them to say that somehow our borders are secure is absurd.
Yeah.
We've had millions of people coming in, millions of people that we don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
And yeah, America is at risk right now.
Yeah, there's no question about it. We found secret biolabs, Chinese biolabs in the country.
Yep.
And you can't just leave China without the Chinese Communist government knowing. So, yeah, maybe you're fleeing, but the number that can actually flee, we'd have all of them here if they could all flee. This sounds to me like there's something more nefarious going on. And as you say, our borders are not open. And so I'm going to ask you a question here. You know, the Republican conference has not come together yet to impeach Mayorkas, who has come to Congress and openly lied. And yet members of Congress, including yourself, have voted to oust George Santos. And he hasn't yet been, he's been charged, but he hasn't been found guilty of anything yet. And that's going to weaken the conference. So could you explain to our viewers why that's such a priority, especially in light of the fact that Mayorkas has not been impeached for lying to Congress?
Yeah, well, because there was a process. And so our Ethics Commission unanimously had findings that found that George Santos had stolen money from his constituents and donors. And so, yeah, for me, that's a cardinal sin, and he should be ousted. And if that's precedent setting, well, and so be it. Nobody in Congress should be a thief. The thing with Mayorkas is there is a process that's going on right now. It's headed by our chairman, Mark Green from Tennessee, and the Committee on Homeland Security, which I happen to be a part of. And so we have every intention of going through that process, getting findings, and I believe that at the end, we will bring findings of impeachment, articles of impeachment against Secretary Mayorkas. But it's the process, and we have to do it the right way. That's the difference, and that's why I supported ousting former Congressman Santos. And while I support wholeheartedly the efforts of our Chairman Green, in getting the information, getting all the facts, and then putting in front of the American people so that they understand exactly why it is that if we get to that, and I do believe we're going to get to that, why we are impeaching, Mayorkas.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the lies from Mayorkas are hurting the country a lot more than the lies from George Santos. But I really appreciate you explaining your vote and making it clear to our voters. I know there was a lot of questions about that.
It wasn't the lies. No, it wasn't the lies. He stole money. He's a thief. That's the problem. Now, the lies of Mayorkas and his policies are hurting
so
America.
is Senator Menendez.
Right.
To be fair,
Right.
there's lots of problems going on. But
that's right. That's
you
up to
weaken
the
your
Senate
majority.
to decide. That's the Senate to decide on Senator Menendez. I'm
true.
not defending Senator Menendez. Now, we have a process that we need to go through with Mayorkas. Let's do it the right way and then impeach him the right way. And believe me, I'll be there when that vote comes.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us, Congressman. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You got it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.